How's it going? Happy Thursday. This is Niz Weather Wizdom. I'm Storm Team 4 Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky, and live from home here. I'll be heading into the office later on this afternoon. And the main focus of the weather, of course, we got the cold, but we also have some lake effect snow potential heading into Friday. So thank you for joining this live weather stream that's on Facebook and YouTube. I really appreciate it. We're going to focus this live discussion, on the lake effect snow potential. We'll go through a couple of the different models, different takes, and my personal thoughts on this historically. Some of the model trends that we're seeing, and we'll just break it down for that lake snow potential heading into tomorrow. If you happen to be watching this not live and you're watching this in the future, taped, you can always leave a comment in the comment section, and I will try to reply to that comment in the comment section. If you're watching this live, leave a comment in the comment section, and I hopefully can reply live here as well. All right, let's get right to it. Let's take a look at the current radar picture. And you see there already is a band of lake effect snow that sits on the eastern side of Lake Michigan. It's pretty stagnant, not going anywhere as of right now because you have almost a due north wind right now, and there's really not much wind at all. So that band of lake snow kind of parked out over Lake Michigan. Besides that, things are pretty quiet across the Midwest here. Some lake effect light snow up towards off of Lake Superior. And you have some flurries and light snow moving through Missouri. Still really cold across the country. By the way, if you heard this weekend, obviously another big storm system to the East Coast, and then Florida could see like 20s. Could have a pretty devastating freeze for inland spots, for like, the orange crops and stuff. I don't know where that currently stands down there, but I would just imagine the temperatures that I'm seeing could do some harm. All right, let's look back again at the current radar picture. And this is the basics of what's going on. You have a proper temperature difference from air and water. That's one of the ingredients for lake effect snow. And eventually we will see that wind shift northeast. And if that wind shifts northeast just right, along with a number of different factors, we will see a band of lake effect snow develop. Now, if it's more of an east component, it'll be a weaker, more scattered lake effect snow event. If it is just right, where you get that northeast wind, then we could see a more pronounced lake effect snow band develop tomorrow morning, especially from Milwaukee and to the south. That typical spot, wind point, down into Kenosha on an angle, could be dealing with that lake effect snow potential. Let's go through our various computer models here. What I want to start off with is, let's start with the HRRR. Really, at this point, this near of a term and dealing with something as mesoscale as small scale as lake effect snow, there's really only two models I'm going to roll with. We have the HRRR, which is the go-to short range model through the National Weather Service. And then you have the GRAPH, which is our in-house computer model. So let's just go with those two and we'll see what happens. So the HRRR we'll start with. And I can tell you already, the HRRR is going to come in with more of an east component to the wind, which could equate to more lake effect snow for more locations, but probably less potential for that really extreme heavy band that parks itself scenario. So let's go through time. Again, northwest wind today. Notice how where that lake effect snow is out over the lake, it's like a due north wind. But as that east component starts to win the battle, there, you see how that lake band moves on shore. Now the HRRR, this is different from yesterday, shows some of the northern spots getting on the action initially. early morning commute from Sheboygan to Grafton. If this pans out, I'm not 100% sold on it though. And then everybody, lake effect snow by 7, 8 o'clock. But notice how the wind is very easterly off of the lake. And the snow is a lot more scattered. You never get that one band that parks itself, except for maybe there afternoonish down towards Racine, Kenosha. This would just be more of a longer duration scattered lake snow event. We're going to have to watch out of a return of this on Saturday now. That's another thing that's coming into play. Let's focus on Friday, though, first. So there's the HRRR. And here's what the HRRR outputs. Now, wait for our official forecast at the end. But this is what the HRRR outputs. It's going to output, a decent amount of snow pretty much along the entire shoreline. 1 to 2 inches for the most part. Maybe a 3-inch isolated spot. But that would be the lesser, chance of a significant, 6+ lake snow event for one area, but more dispersed through all of southeastern Wisconsin. So that's the HRRR. Let's go to the graph. The graph has been more consistent with this lately, especially this lake effect snow potential. Very similar setup. Here comes the progression of that band of lake snow. Keeping it offshore, though, for our northern spots at 6 o'clock. There's a difference. Still a pretty good east component to this. But you'll notice that it really potentially just pronounces that more precise but stronger band of lake snow down towards Racine and Kenosha. But that barely comes ashore. But this is like splitting hairs. I mean, if this scenario sets up and this band just clips the lakeshore, then you end up with 1 or 2 inches down towards Racine and Kenosha. But if this parks itself for, let's say, 6 hours, you're getting a significant snowfall. Really looks like kind of just a glancing blow, maybe a couple hours worth, and then back out to sea, and then maybe a return of some more lake effect snow on Saturday. Look at that. So we're going to have to watch out for Saturday too. Let's just really focus on Friday though. All right, so with the graph, which has been more consistent, it's been showing this, shows more of a precise but potentially stronger snow band for our southern spots. But this most recent run just clips the area, and it's probably not going to output, I haven't looked at this yet, a ton of snow. But it's going to be very precise. There you go. Like a small area. Racine gets hit 2.5 inches of snow. There probably is an isolated spot that has more than that, and Milwaukee ends up with nothing. So that's the graph. So you really have two different solutions here for Friday's snow. I think this graph, even though it's only showing 2.5 in Racine, shows way more of an overall threat of that scenario that just dumps snow on wind point through much of the city of Racine and into Kenosha. But this recent run only clips us. So with all of that said, this is what I went with last night. Brendan Johnson went with this morning. I might make adjustments to this afternoon. But we are going 1 to 3 inches on Friday. And of course, more could be possible on Saturday. But that's the current look at our forecast for the lake effect snow on Friday. Not looking at anything else and just basing on those two computer model runs, I'd probably put a blend of both, but factoring in the potential for the higher amount south. So I might do something like extending this white area all the way up to Sheboygan, maybe 1 inch to 2 inches, and then maybe put in a smaller next level down towards Racine and Kenosha of let's say 2 to 4 or something. That's my thinking right now. I'll be fine-tuning things in the afternoon. So again, if you happen to have a question or a comment, please fire away. I really enjoy everybody's interaction. It's a lot of fun. Before I'm gonna go through those questions, and we'll dive into this a little bit deeper. Before we do that, though, here is my plug again. If you're watching this on YouTube, whether it's live or taped, hit subscribe below. Or if you're on Facebook, head on over to search for Brian Niz or Brian Niz Weather Wiz, Weather Wiz, W-I-Z, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you got multiple platforms that you can get this. You have a better chance of seeing this live on YouTube, believe it or not. So I appreciate that. All right, let's go to the questions and comments, and I'm happy to really address anything. 1 second here. Joshua says, Brian, what's up, Joshua? Oh, mom's there. Hi, honey. Hi, mom. Hi, Mama Niz. What's going on? Mason has a great question. What model do you think is the best, and will Milwaukee miss out? I know lake effect is hard to predict. It's a very good question, Mason. I really like the HRRR in many locations on small scale events like this. Lake effect snow, thunderstorm potential. So I really need to pay attention to the HRRR. However, the graph has been more consistent with this band of lake snow, and it's also been performing pretty well lately, which has got me thinking of a blend of both. But what I would end up doing, Mason, is when I get into the office and I could dive into things a little bit deeper, I'll side with the model that's initializing best, like what is performing well at this moment. I'll look back at what it was doing yesterday and things of that nature. So it's a great question. Let's see here. Looks like Mary says hello. Joshua wants to know, are we really worried about Saturday's event? You think it would be 1 to 3 inches, if anything at all, south of Milwaukee? Not too concerned. Well, I shouldn't say that. This discussion was just Friday. But yes, I am starting to get growingly concerned that we build the northeast components of the wind on Saturday and we could see a repeat performance. Does it look like it's a monster lake event? No. But we could see another, people dealing with slippery roads and like 1 to 2 inches of snow. Nicholas wants to know, any snow for Delavan? No. As of right now, no. Unless we get that scenario of the HRRR that is more of an east component and more scattered, lighter lake effect snow comes ashore, that has the ability to extend farther inland. But I wouldn't be expecting any accumulation, Nicholas. Great question. Mason says, okay, thank you. Okay, cool. Well, again, I appreciate it. Heads up for Saturday. Heads up for the potential of a repeat performance on Saturday. But as of right now, we are looking at the potential for a couple inches of lake effect snow on Friday. With lake effect snow, the disclaimer always is there is a chance that a localized spot, and those spots are typical a lot of times. Wind Point comes to mind. Sometimes even Sheboygan if that band sets up farther north. Fox Point. Right now, this is looking like a southern county threat for that really enhanced band, but even at that is still in question. How far inshore can lake effect go? Joshua wants to know. It depends on the scenario and how strong the wind is and how much of a fetch off of Lake Michigan. It's really hard for us to get a lake effect snow event that extends as far west as Madison. However, with the westerlies, upper levels, lower levels of a west to east wind, the other side of Lake Michigan, put it this way, hard to get lake effect in Madison, not so hard to get lake effect in Lansing in Michigan. But for us, accumulating lake effect snow really is a like 10 miles or less thing for the scenario that we're talking about, 10 miles or less to the lakeshore. Sure, you can get snow showers out that way. There might be some minor accumulation, but that's about it. So, all right. I appreciate it, everybody. Thanks so much. And join us on TMJ4 News live at 4, 5, and 6 tonight. I'm going to be at the Domes tonight. Staying warm.